Hello, and welcome to Beyond the Whistle, a sports show located in Boise, Idaho. Each episode, we're going to be bringing you all the latest news about your favorite sports from the professional, collegiate, and local levels. We'll be your hosts throughout the season. I'm Christy Amstutz.
And I'm Andrew Vincent.
Unfortunately, our other resident host, Alex East, could not be with us today due to a family emergency, and we are sending her all of our love. Each of us has a desire to enter the sports industry, and we offer a youthful, energetic, and even sometimes female voice to the sports world. Sorry, Andrew. On this week's episode of Beyond the Whistle, we will be discussing NFL playoffs, NBA storylines, and all you need to know about Boise State basketball and their 13-game win streak.
As Christy said, we're going to be covering a wide range of sports topics on Beyond the Whistle. But for today, let's start with our sports news nationwide, who's going to the Super Bowl, and NBA craziness. Let's talk NFL playoffs first. Going into Championship Sunday, who are your Super Bowl favorites?
Yeah, so I guess I want it to be Rams-Bengals, but I think it's going to be Rams-Chiefs.
I also am with you. I really want to see the Bengals make it. I like an underdog story, and Joe Burrow, something about him. I'm just like, I want to see him win.
Oh, yeah.
Especially since we also see the Chiefs kind of like every year now.
I think the Bengals kind of have the whole country behind them at this point.
I agree.
They didn't win a playoff game for 33 years, and now they've won 2 games in 2 weeks.
They could go to the Super Bowl.
I know.
It's like, yeah.
It's super exciting to think about, and I think Joe Burrow is someone everybody can get behind.
Yeah.
And so I'm really rooting for the Bengals this week. I told somebody I know, I was like, I think I'm like the biggest Bengals fan ever this week.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I think like seeing the same people in the Super Bowl gets pretty old.
I agree.
And we've seen Mahomes and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I mean, this is their 4th straight year hosting the AFC Championship at home.
Yeah.
It'll be their 3rd straight year in the Super Bowl. Hopefully not.
I know. I'm torn because I'm a Seahawks fan.
Okay.
So on the NFC side of things, I got the Niners and the Rams, who are both like my
lose-lose.
Exactly, a lose-lose situation. But I have a feeling it's going to be the Rams and the Chiefs. But I want to see the Bengals and the Niners.
Okay.
Personally, two underdogs that like kind of just keep winning, even though no one expected them to. I think that'd be really cool to see. But I have a feeling it's going to be because the Rams and the Chiefs, I think, have better rosters than both of the, the Bengals and the Niners. But
the Niners have been fun to watch in the postseason.
Oh, totally.
Like nobody thought they'd be here, number one, and now they're beating these 1 seeds, and it's like, oh. Okay, Niners.
I know. I was shocked when they beat the Packers at Green Bay in the snow, and they're a warm weather team. Like everything against them. Yeah. They had some help with the defense, getting that fumble recovery touchdown.
And Green Bay's special teams is the worst in the
they
league,
probably should have lost that game. But at the end of the day, when it was tied up 10-10, Jimmy G drove down the field and beat Aaron Rodgers, who couldn't do that, which is actually an interesting topic. Jimmy Garoppolo and the Niners, if they're going to stay with him, because they just drafted Trey Lance with the 3rd pick overall. Yeah.
It's tough. I think there's been a lot of conversation about Jimmy the past week.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say none of us are NFL quarterbacks, never thrown a pass in an NFL game. But I think at this point, people are kind of assuming that the Niners are winning despite Jimmy Garoppolo rather than because of him. Yeah. With other teams, I think it's very easy to say the Chiefs are winning because of Patrick Mahomes, because of Travis Kelce, because of Tyreek Hill. But I don't think they're winning because of Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's fair. I understand. I don't know. I'm kind of torn in it because if you didn't have Jimmy Garoppolo and you had Trey Lance in there, they would not be in this position, which is also because he's a rookie, which I can understand. But at the same time, this will be his second. If he somehow makes it to the Super Bowl, it'll be his second Super Bowl in the past 3 years.
Yeah, and I think it is hard to discredit, his win-loss record. Mm-hmm. The Niners are 35-15 with Garoppolo as quarterback, and they're 8-27 without. Mm-hmm. So that does speak. at least a little bit about his, his abilities. But I think that it also should be noted that a lot of those, losses came without like Nick Bosa, Deebo Samuel. They've had injuries in the past as well.
It was last year that they were just completely torn up injury-wise. So that's a fair point. How about on the other side of things, on the AFC, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs? They started off a little slow start, kind of like our Boise State basketball team, but here they are. They're in the championship, or AFC championship game, and another knocking on the door to another Super Bowl.
It's crazy. I'm personally a Chargers fan, so I've had some experience playing the Chiefs. And the Chiefs started the season 3-4 this year, and then finished 12-5. So they really turned their season around. Patrick Mahomes 10 interceptions in his first 8 games, and has only thrown 4 in his last 11. So he's really turned his season around. The Chiefs kind of like kicked it into another gear, and I think nobody's surprised at their success.
I was never surprised. Honestly, I thought people were always overreacting when they were kind of going through that slump, because Patrick Mahomes has never had a slump in his career. He just started off just guns a-blazing, totally took him to the Super Bowl that first year he started as a starter, and then like the first time he's ever having any struggle, people are like, oh, the Chiefs, he's not a top 5 quarterback anymore, and this and that, and then here they are again.
Well, and I think to what we were talking about earlier about the fact that like nobody wants to see repeats, besides Chiefs fans.
Well,
it's easy to root against them and to try and find holes in there.
That's fair.
Poke holes and find any little thing that you can like discredit. Oh, Patrick Mahomes throwing interceptions. Maybe this year isn't their year, but he's proven, and they've proven Andy Reid is an incredible coach, so it'll be hard to beat them.
It will. And then
Joe Burrow.
I know. Seriously, second year in the NFL, and he's already in the AFC Championship game with a team that has honestly no offensive line, because he just beat the Titans, and he got sacked, 9 times? 9 times? I don't think that's ever been done. I think I saw the stat, like Donovan McNabb on the Eagles, years back. So that was pretty crazy. He did get help with that interception at the end.
Yes, Ryan Tannehill threw 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
So say what you want, but I think in big moments, Joe Burrow has been proving himself.
Oh, yeah.
And he's kind of been added to that list of like really good quarterbacks in the AFC that people are going to have fun watching for a long time. You've got Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. I think people are really excited to see where this new future generation of quarterbacks go. And Joe Burrow is killing it. And I think he's given a lot of hope to Bengals fans.
Oh, more. I think he could retire right now and have his jersey hanging in the rafters with what he's done.
Probably. So. And I know like most people are gonna take Dak Prescott as their comeback player of the year, but I think Joe Burrow has
seriously, because he got, what was it, a torn
ACL?
Torn ACL comes back, brings his team, perform. I don't know. He's just got the it factor. I feel like when you watch him, he just has it. Sometimes like you can't put a number on it. It's just he has that it factor. And I think that's going to totally, he'll be a player for the next 10 years. That's going to be a top guy.
And we already talked about the Rams a little bit, but I think they're, as a Southern California girl, I'm kind of rooting for the Rams a little bit. But, they kind of made big mid-season moves, brought in Von Miller. Obviously bringing in Matt Stafford has been a game changer for them. And Cooper Kupp, man. Oh,
my God. They've been going crazy this year. I mean, they obviously went all in by making the trades for Von Miller and Matthew Stafford in the offseason, getting rid of Jared Goff, which goes to show, I mean, they made it to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, but now it's kind of taken them to a whole nother level and taking Cooper Kupp's game to a whole nother level.
Oh, absolutely. And all props to Cooper Kupp. Yeah. But I think this year, and the Rams have shown us just what, benefit an above average, a great quarterback can do for his receivers. I think Jared Goff is a very average quarterback. So bringing in an above average, I mean, Cooper Kupp won the Triple Crown this year. So.
Yeah, seriously. Receptions, reception yards, touchdowns. Yeah. All of it. And it'll be interesting.
I'm excited for this Sunday.
I know. I'm still going to root for my underdog teams, but I guess we'll see. We'll have to find out.
You're taking
Tune in on
Rams
Sunday.
Chiefs, but you're rooting for Niners Bengals.
I think, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna root for the Bengals and the Niners,
Got
but
it.
I think the Chiefs and the Rams are gonna probably get there.
I think I agree.
Yeah, but I think it's time to maybe switch topics, maybe talk about the NBA a little
Yes.
bit. A lot's been going on there. I know it's All-Star break now. And,
Yeah.
well, it's going to be
Almost
All-Star
All-Star
break.
break,
The All-Star
right.
starters were just announced, which was very interesting.
Very interesting. I think we both have a lot of thoughts about Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, I think everyone does. I think everyone was kind of like raising their eyebrows, like, what's going on there? Because obviously the Warriors totally have been super successful. He's been a big part of that. But I think the biggest snub that everyone is kind of like, how did he not make it, was Devin Booker on the Phoenix Suns.
It's crazy that the Suns are the best team in the NBA right now, best record. I mean, only the Warriors are even close to them, and they don't have one all-star starter, you know? So Devin Booker got snubbed. I'm sure he'll be an all-star.
Yeah, he will. Him and Chris Paul will be.
Chris Paul, yeah, for sure.
But
just tough to see him not a starter.
Yeah, and I guess going along with that, looking at like teams that have kind of like performed super well and not lived up to expectations. I know you are a big Laker fan. Let's start with the underperforming teams. I think that's kind of like the name that everyone is throwing up with that.
Yeah, it's been hard. It's been tough for us Laker fans out here this season.
Yeah.
I think coming into the season, a lot of the moves we made in the off season, people were excited about, but also hesitant. And those moves have not panned out well for us.
No.
You know, the age of this team is up there, and it's showing a lot. And obviously, people are not very happy about Russell Westbrook.
I think Russell Westbrook is getting a lot of the blame, as he should be in some instances. I think that like his turnovers are just horrible. He's led the league in turnovers, I think, the past like 4 or 5 years. So his IQ is not, he gets a lot of stats, but it's not winning basketball. And I think him not being a shooter, along with like the team not having a lot of shooters, is like really cramped. Teams can just, you know, hold down the paint, and it makes it really hard to score the ball.
Yeah, it's tough. And, you know, I think Russell Westbrook is playing messy, you know, and that's the biggest word I would describe his game as. And Shaq was actually at the Laker game the other night, and he kind of like yelled at Russell. He goes, just slow down. Like, just slow down. Because I think, like, at this point, he's gotten so much criticism. He's trying too hard, and
He's
you know,
trying too hard.
There's a lot of pressure on him. He's a hometown guy, went to UCLA, but I don't think the experiment is panning out for the Lakers.
It's not. So it'll be interesting to see. I know that there's rumors out there that they want to try to get Jeremy Grant or from the Detroit Pistons with whatever they can offer. They don't really have a lot to offer.
And nobody wants Russell's contract.
His contract is $44 million, and then next year like $46 million for a player that turns out cannot help win basketball games, even when he's playing with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So that's really tough to watch, honestly, as a LeBron fan. But we'll see what happens. I think they can turn it around, because Russell has proved in the past that his second half of seasons are a lot better than his first halves when he's playing with like a brand new team.
Hopefully. I've got my fingers crossed
I hope
for the
so.
Lakers.
I hope so.
So we'll see.
Well, on the other end of the spectrum, the Lakers did pass on DeMar DeRozan.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, seriously. And now look at what he's doing on the Chicago Bulls.
He's
That's
playing at
another
an
cheating
MVP
team.
caliber level.
Yeah.
It's tough to know that the Lakers had a sign and trade deal done, and then nixed it and got Russell instead.
Yeah.
But man, he's just so fun to watch as a player. And you know, he's an SC guy. I grew up an SC fan, so I'm rooting for him all the way. And you know, good for the Bulls.
Yeah, seriously, they have taken the East by storm, which a lot of people were kind of like, oh, they'll be middle of the pack. I was really high on them, because when you have DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Vucevic, which was a really good center, a really good pickup, and then you also throw in Lonzo Ball.
Alex Caruso, my guy.
They just took all the Lakers, apparently. But,
They did.
No, they've been really fun to watch. They're really, really fun watch.
Yeah, I guess also in the East, on the East, like overachieving teams, I think the Cavs have really overachieved this year. You know, like they weren't on anybody's radar to come into the year, and now they're sitting at, 30-19 and
third in the East.
Third in the East.
Which normally they're kind of like the bottom of the pack, which is crazy, which might be your SC guy.
Might be, Mobley. I think it's Evan Mobley. He's so cool. Like, the skill set he has as a big guy, you know, he can shoot the three, he can dunk. He just dunked on Giannis the other night. Like, he's so fun. I'm rooting for him all the way. And
yeah, he's really like a unicorn type of player.
Absolutely.
He's like, his wingspan is like, I don't know off the top of my head, but he's got really long arms, 7'1", and with the skill set to, you know, put it on the floor, you know, get his own shot, and then defensively, he's like, I think averaging like almost 2 blocks a game, which is crazy for a rookie center. Yeah,
I think he's definitely in the lead for Rookie of the Year right now.
I agree. I think it's either going to be him. Cade Cunningham has been playing really well.
And he's getting a lot of minutes because he's playing in Detroit, Cade Cunningham. So.
And then Scotty Barnes, I think, is third behind him. And then maybe an honorable mention, Josh Giddey in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
He's been almost averaging a triple-double, like with 11 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, something like that, which is pretty crazy for a rookie.
Yeah, it's been a cool, very fun rookie class to watch this year.
I agree.
And so the future of the NBA is definitely very bright.
I agree. I think there's also a really interesting topic that with the Brooklyn Nets on the East, Kyrie Irving, he's a part-time player, which, you know, the reason he's a part-time player, for anyone wondering, is he's unvaccinated, and in New York, the mandates are you have to be vaccinated to like play in the arena to show up at the Brooklyn arena, so he is only allowed to play at away games.
Right. I think the Nets are 4-3 with Kyrie this year. He's averaging 34 minutes, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists per game.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think the Nets are also struggling with other injuries and stars like Kevin Durant hasn't played a lot, James Harden hasn't played a lot. So it's tough to say like Kyrie is the only problem with the Nets right now.
Oh, yeah. No, I just think it's interesting because this ESPN reporter, Brian Windhorst, just explained the other day that the Nets have the option to pay a fine. So, like, he can just play home games, but they'll pay, like, $5,000 the first time, $10,000, then $15,000, but then it cuts off at $15,000, and they would just pay that every time he plays.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's nothing for the Nets.
It would not be anything.
It would not, that's not a big cost. So.
I think it's more of a, you know, moral, like, you know, is it the right thing to do?
I agree, especially being in a place like New York.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out the rest of the season, and then especially moving into playoffs. The Nets are sitting at 4th right now in the East. So I'm sure if they're planning to have Kyrie play in the playoffs, then they want him, you know, to play more games before then.
My guess is that they will do that once it gets to the playoffs, and it's like, okay, it's just a 7-game series.
Yeah.
I think they'll pay the fine to get that done. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, the NBA, it's been a really fun season to watch. We're basically at the midpoint now, and the second half is coming up. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're excited. Excited about NBA, NFL playoffs. But good stuff happening in our sports world lately.
Now, I guess, should we take it back to the collegiate level?
Yeah.
Talking about our Boise State Broncos. Our basketball team's been killing it.
Yeah, this year has turned out to be a very promising year for our Broncos. The last time we talked about it, the
kind of killing them a little bit, yeah.
We kind of trashed them a little bit, and now maybe like it was
maybe it was us, yeah. They can give us credit.
Send us our thank you notes right now. Boise State basketball team, we love you guys. They were 3-4 last time we talked.
Yeah.
We gave them a little bit of heat, and now they're 16-4, 13-game win streak.
Yeah.
You know, people in Boise are super excited about. this team and what they're doing. Obviously, they play Fresno tonight in Fresno, which is a big game for them.
Yeah,
I think every game at this point is a big game.
Because Fresno is, 14-5. That's another really good
and they've only got one loss in the conference.
Yeah.
So it'll be good. Fresno has vaulted into the top 60 in the net, so it would be a quad 1 win for Boise State, which would be good. And then obviously one of the best players in the nation right now, Oscar Robinson, plays for Fresno. So and I know he was injured a little bit last game, so people were wondering if he'll be playing tonight. It was announced earlier this morning that he will be playing tonight. So they'll have trouble with that. Big man. But we'll see. I'm excited to watch the game tonight. It's the only game on in the country at that time tonight.
Really?
Yeah. So
okay,
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock cool. For all Boise viewers.
Very cool.
Yeah, but I
think also because I was in a sports media class, and RJ Barsh, one of our assistant coaches, came in and talked, and I think he's had a huge impact on the Broncos to be able to he's really good at rallying players together and creating that team, bond, which I think is super important for a collegiate level team, because you don't really have that one player like in the NBA averaging 25 points a game or 13 rebounds, like all of that stuff. So you really have to play as a team. And I think that's really translated to the Broncos' success.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another, integral part of their success this season has been freshman sensation, Tyson Degenhart. He's won the Mountain West Freshman of the Week 4 times now.
Yeah.
Since he joined the starting lineup, the Broncos are 13-1. The second game he started our 13-game win streak, which is now the second longest win streak in the country, only behind number 1 Auburn. So, Broncos are gaining some national attention here. If they win at Fresno tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if some voters had them in their top 25. And it's shaping up to be a really, really exciting season. I went to the Wyoming game on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Really, really exciting atmosphere.
Fun. I wasn't able to make it.
It was really cool, and I think they're starting to see this community support from our Boise community.
Yeah, we got a strong community. But when you're struggling, it's hard to watch.
It's hard, and so I think that they've kind of, because they started 3-4, they've had to prove to Boise and the community that they're someone that deserves their support. But it was really cool to be there. It was the highest attendance of the season on Tuesday. Just about 8,300 people there. Fans are excited about potentially the athletic department opening up the third deck, allowing more students in. So really, really cool atmosphere. For those of our friends at home, come out, come see a game. They're doing a win one, get one. So if you buy a ticket for the San Jose State game and the Broncos win, you get a free ticket to the next game. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So come out, support our guys. They're really excited. They want to see Boise.
Yeah.
They want to see y'all there. The Wyoming game was fun because Matt Boucher, who was a former player for the Broncos. He's an alumnus. He's a very big supporter. He's very vocal on Twitter and at the games and stuff. He got thrown out, actually.
Really?
And
at the Wyoming game?
At the Wyoming game.
Wow.
And the Broncos were losing at the time when he got thrown out. And so kind of on his way out, he's riling up the crowd and, getting people into it. And they're booing the refs.
Fun, though.
And then the Broncos went on a 7-1 run and took the lead again and won the game. So, it's cool to see people into it. And it was a really, really cool atmosphere. And, it's just exciting times for our Boise State basketball team.
I agree. I think we got all the key pieces to a winning team as well.
Yes.
With, I think any team needs really good forwards and then a center holding down the paint, which I think we totally have with the Kajab. Kajab. That was bad. Emmanuel Akot, Tyson Degenhart, all tall guys that can defend, long arms.
And Marcus Shaver, they call him Big Shot Shave because, he he had back-to-back game winners at Utah State and at San Diego State.
Yeah.
He's been killer from beyond the arc this year.
Yep.
So exciting to him. Keyjob had a really, really good game against Wyoming. So it was really cool. I think we're playing well. I think the team chemistry is off the charts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they all keep talking about how good they're working together lately.
Mm-hmm.
And I think their defensive stats show that.
Yeah.
They're ranked like 7th in the nation defensively.
Yeah, and that shows chemistry, which,
you know,
off the court, I'm sure that they're really bonding and, applying it to the court, which is awesome to see.
And a lot of people want to ask about the, release of Devenir Dutrieve from the team, and the coaching staff and the players haven't, commentated on it at all. But it's interesting that he was released and then they went on this 13-game win streak. So
yeah,
definitely helped with the chemistry at some point. I'm sure in the future we'll find out more about what happened there. But
yeah, it is kind of weird. I mean, sometimes if you do, I'm not going to speak on anything without knowing, but if you do have a piece in the locker room that's kind of like throwing things off, one little move can really change everything. So it'll be interesting to see, when that story comes out.
Yeah. So maybe there wasn't buy-in. We'll see. But we're really excited. Broncos play tonight at Fresno, and then
Tune in
at Wyoming later next week, and then we'll be at home again February 5th against San Jose.
Yep.
So very exciting about that. Our rival.
Yeah, be there. Be there, Broncos.
Everyone show up to the games. Students get in free, so if you're a student watching, be there. I caught like 3 T-shirts while I was there. So
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They throw out a bunch of stuff to the students. They asked me to do like trivia. I was like on the screen and did trivia. Won 6 tickets. So it's a good time.
Super fun environment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
should we do a little campus recap?
Campus recap. Yeah. There's a lot more going on than just our Boise State Broncos. Yeah.
We love our basketball team, but there's also a lot else going on campus. So we're gonna do a little recap of our winter sports currently. Yeah. So our Bronco cheerleaders just went to nationals a few weekends ago. They finished 4th in a small D1A COA division and 6th in D1A game day division. So they're really excited about that.
Yeah.
Awesome news for our cheer team. They kind of cheer on everybody else the rest of the season. Yeah. So exciting for us to get to cheer them on.
Totally. On the other side of things, the women's basketball is not having as much success as our men's team. Unfortunately, they're sitting at 7-11, which, isn't great. Obviously below 500, but still go out and support them. And then.
Men's tennis.
Men's tennis.
They just lost to number 2 Baylor. Which put them at 3-2, but number 2.
Yeah.
And they have a 3-match homestand coming up on February 4th through the 6th. So I'm sure they would love Bronco Nation's support in that endeavor.
Totally.
And then gymnastics has their first meet tonight against Southern Utah. So maybe I'll pop in there and go watch our gymnastics teams kill it, because they've had a top 25 ranking the past few years, and won our division. So
I can't say I've been to a gymnastics meet, so
maybe you'll have to go sometime.
I think I'll have to go and check them out if they're that good.
Check them out. They're good.
But that is the recap for our Broncos and other sports. But now to start wrapping up the show, I'd like to introduce you all to a segment that we refer to as the 2-minute drill, where each episode we will be putting 2 minutes on the clock and giving 2 of our hosts a sports topic to debate about. Typically, one of us will be the mediator, while the other 2 will debate for 2 minutes, going back and forth, attempting to win the argument. Because it's just us holding down today without Alex, you all at home are going to have to tell us who won in the comments. Throughout the year, we'll keep track of how many points each of us has won to see who the ultimate winner is. Today, our debate is going to be about who the NFL MVP is going to be. And with that being said, let's see who takes the win in our favorite game, the 2-minute drill.
All right.
There we go. So, should we put 2 minutes on the clock? Oh, it's game time.
Let's go. Baby. Let's put 2 minutes on the clock. I'll start a timer on my phone. And we'll see who will take the win this week.
I guess so. Well, we won't know until
we won't know until
comment.
you guys have to tell us who won.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's.
Okay, ready, set, go.
Okay, well, for me, I know it's going to come down to either Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. I know Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor are in the mix, but
I don't think they'll be in.
I don't think they're going to be in. I think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. And I think you're arguing
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, so I'm arguing Tom Brady. Tom Brady has 1,200 more yards passing than Aaron Rodgers. He has 6 more pass touchdowns. Granted, he does have more interceptions, but I think that's because he's had a lot of injuries on the Bucs, and he's had to carry and throw the ball downfield to score more.
I'm glad you brought up his injuries and his interceptions, Andrew, because I think part of a player's valuability as a player, that's not a word, is the fact that how much they're playing. And Tom Brady, injured more. Aaron Rodgers, throws more interceptions. Brady threw 12 interceptions, and Rodgers only threw 4 this year.
That's fair.
I think that speaks insurmountably to how much they want to protect the ball and their riskiness. Yes, Brady has more yards, more touchdowns, but Rodgers started less games. And in the only game that Rodgers did not start, the Packers lost. So I think that speaks to, how truly valuable he is to this team and the league.
That's fair. I think also off the numbers in the books, I think it is interesting because Tom Brady just released out that he is thinking about retiring, and at the end of the day, it's just humans that are voting for this MVP, and I think a little bit of a that could apply to it.
I don't think so. I don't think they can do that. First of all, I don't think they'll get an announcement about his retirement before the voting is done. The voting's already done. They vote after the season. So I think Rodgers takes it. Oh, and that's time.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
You guys let us know.
Yeah, you guys at home, tell us who won that debate. And maybe tell us who you think's going to win that.
Yeah, comment who you think. Maybe we're both wrong. Who knows?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. So remember to vote for who you think won the 2-minute drill for this episode in the comments. And we want to send a big thank you to all of you for joining us for this episode. Finally, we couldn't do this without our producer and crew, so to each of them, we send all of our gratitude. I'm Andrew Vincent.
And I'm Christy Amsteds. Join us next time on Beyond the Whistle for all your sports news needs.